Welcome to Chris Parkin Shooting Sports. Today I'm out shooting the FX Dreamline ST Elite. This is quite a different specification from the other FX rifles I've reviewed before. It's longer, it's lower, it's a different system with having a long air cylinder rather than the buddy bottle, and I'm really looking forward to how it performs off the bench. So please stick with me. I'm going to shoot 5 different pellet weights, 5 different groups, give you some ballistic data from them, and let's see how we get on. There's a pressure gauge on the front of the underside bottle, but I tend to prefer the pressure gauge on my diver's bottle when I'm filling to give me an absolute reading for 230 bar fill. The gauge on the front of the bottle is what I use day to day to make sure I'm not running too low or give me a warning when I need to refill. The barrel is screw cut 1/2 inch for a moderator or muzzle brake. It's also fully shrouded back to the action to improve harmonics of the internal FX liner. Rather than a larger buddy bottle, this FX uses a long, slim bottle to lower the centre of gravity of the rifle in the Sabre Tactical chassis. As well as offering a Picatinny rail at the front for a bipod, the Sabre Tactical chassis offers a full-length Arca Swiss rail to mount it on a tripod. The longer chassis and lower centre of gravity compared with the longer, what I like to call wheelbase, between the front bipod and the rearmost support on the bag rider here gives great stability and is especially suited to bench rest or prone position shooting, a little bit more so than hunting perhaps. The back end of the stock offers a load of adjustability with an underside bag rider and also an adjustable cheek piece and adjustable butt pad. Length of pull is also adjustable and the stock itself will fold round. Here you can see the stock folds for compact storage. When folded, there's a magnetic catch to hold the folded stock in position so it can't fall open. Here's the release catch for vertical cheek piece adjustment. Once in position, there are locking screws on the right side to lock it in place securely. There's a locking screw here to allow vertical adjustment, locks in position wherever you want it. This catch allows length of pull adjustment, which again will lock in place using these adjusters. To adjust the angle of the butt plate, squeeze here and this pin drops inside. You can then leave it to lock wherever is most comfortable for you. Here you can see the back of the butt plate's got lots of rubber grip on it to lock into your shoulder securely. The entire chassis is beautifully machined from aluminium and all the fasteners are ultimately secure in position to lock the stock in place. I certainly like all the skeleton cutouts to save weight. As well as the underside Arca Swiss and Picatinny rails, there are also lateral slotted rails for other accessories like illuminators, night vision, thermal imaging, etc. In 12 foot-pound format, the rifle has less adjustability than the FAC versions, but here you can see the 2 power control dials. I suspect most people with a 12 foot-pound air rifle will use it at maximum power though. Scope mounting is via a dovetail rail. It's an 11mm rail and there's quite a lot of space to put the rings on. Do bear in mind though, you need to keep the scope fairly high to make sure it goes above the magazine, which is centrally mounted. The trigger offers both masses of positional adjustability and also weight control as well as the operation sequence. It's an AR-15 style rubberized grip, so you've got lots of control over the rifle, and above here you can see the safety catch, which is operable by the firing hand, upward for fire, forward for safe. The magazines are a familiar FX format. Rotate this handle to take the cover plate off and simply rotate it all the way back to place the first pellet in, hold it in position, and then you can fill all the rest of the pellet holes here so that when in use, as soon as each pellet is pushed through by the filling probe, it automatically rotates into place for the next one. When it's fully loaded, put the cover back on, clip into place, and that then goes into the rifle. It's definitely worth making sure that the tip of the pellet isn't sticking out here, because when you push it in, it will shave off on the transfer port if you're not careful. I think it's interesting to note just how stable the FX Dreamline is to aim in this format, with it being longer in physical length and lower with a lower centre of gravity. It's especially noticeable on target how there's just less movement, more accuracy, more precision. It is perhaps my favourite to shoot for precision use off the bench or when prone. The rifle features a Sabre tactical cylinder chassis. It's a multi-shot magazine holding 18 rounds in .22 calibre. This features FX Smooth Twist X match grade barrels and is fully free floating. The barrel itself is 500mm long in .22 calibre. Safe fill pressure is 230 bar or 3300 psi. The safety catch is manual on the right hand side just above the trigger. This is a 12 foot-pound version for the UK and will adjust down to 8 foot-pounds. Air capacity is 220 cc's. The AMP external adjustable regulator pressure is not available in the sub 12 foot-pound version for the UK. The FX match trigger is factory set at 15 ounces. I measured the one on the test rifle at 366 grams or 12.9 ounces. Overall weight it is 3.3 kilograms or 7.5 pounds. Overall length is 975mm or 38.5 inches. When folded, that reduces to 745mm or 29.25 inches. Length of pull is 14 inches or 355mm up to 15.25 inches or 388mm. So let's see how we go with the Acupels now. Middle target. That was a good start. Yet again, the Acupels work beautifully. I think we can put that bad one down to me. Go for the bottom left target this time. It's also available in 177 and 25 caliber. 177 is a 400mm barrel and 25 caliber is a 500mm barrel. Vertical adjustment on the butt pad is 40mm, vertical adjustment on the cheek piece is 38mm. The overall length of the Arca Swiss rail is 260mm or 10.5 inches. The last pellet now is the exact jumbo heavies. I think I'm just going to add 5 clicks up just in case. I don't want these to drop off the bottom of the target and fall of shot. 18.13 grains. Now you can probably see in the foliage behind me, it's not a completely windless day. I'm not shooting on an indoor tunnel range or anything like that. This is real world. So, last target, bottom right. Again, that's shot very well. These are all at 30 metres and it is real world wind conditions. It's not completely still. I can see in the leaves, the branches, the trees, and feel the wind on my face. It is moving around. And I have to say, judging by the performance on paper from the get-go today actually with this rifle, this is my favourite of the FX rifles so far, purely because for shooting groups, for target capability, the long wheelbase stance, the bipod, or using Arca Swiss Picatinny and the back end here and the low centre of gravity, it is the most stable for precision shooting. The other ones being more compact, the bullpup designs, yes, they suit hunting a little bit more, but I do like this one specifically for this job. Okay, let's shoot some targets. Parallax control is very important on the Pard rear add-on scopes because it gives you the best focal capability. Let's just give that a little go now. Having the fast adjustable length of pull was especially handy when I switched over to a Pard night vision add-on at the back. It meant I could just increase the length of pull to give me a little bit more space for my head to fit in behind without making any other changes to the rifle. The full-length Arca Swiss rail made it easy to use the rifle as well as on a bipod. I could put it on a tripod as well. This is a Sunway Photo 3650 and I could just click straight in there and I'm on there with a quick release. And I've immediately got full control from a standing position, and that's the adaptability and great factors about the Arca Swiss rail. Also, of course, you can move the rifle fore and aft to where it's most comfortable for you, as well as right in here to adapt the perfect balance point. The trigger is very predictable and you can easily pull and hold on the first stage without worry of overpressuring it and actually firing the rifle. The AR-15 grip is rubberised and insulates against the cold of the aluminium chassis. There's plenty of space in the trigger guard for your finger, and the trigger itself is incredibly tactile. It's 2 stages and you can easily hold on the first stage without fear of over travelling it into the second stage, before making a very crisp, predictable release of the shot itself. The front of the rifle has no specific sling mounting points, but because you've got so much accessory rail, you can add whatever you want where you need it to be. The back end of the rifle has QR anchor points for a sling. If you want to, you can release the bag rider completely from the stock on Allen bolts underneath, and you're left with a butt hook assembly here to plant the gun into your shoulder and keep it gripped in tightly. There are also more QR stud anchor points. The rifle can be handled ambidextrous, and the cheek piece itself is slim and fits under the cheekbone without displacing the jaw. It is, although, quite cold because it's solid aluminium. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed that review. Quite a little brief one today, just getting used to this air rifle. I have to say, definitely speaking, this is my favourite FX to shoot from the bench or from prone in the precision mode. It's perhaps, you know, it's the longest, it's the least capable in terms of being a true hunting rifle, where the bullpups really do, because of the short compact dimensions and balance point, make them superb. But I have to say, I think this one shoots more accurately, more consistency from the bench. Again, we're outside, this is 30 metres, the wind is blowing around, it's not particularly windy, but the movement is there. And were this rifle to be in 177, you could certainly get better capability on paper from it. Anyway, please like, please subscribe, and please comment, because your comments are what drive these videos. Thank you for watching, bye for now.